Is that Axel Foley, or are you just happy to see me? Well, if you're not busy wondering about the fireworks on the 4th of July, fireworks that our founding fathers believed needed to be shot off into the sky, that are probably banned in places like California and New York, then get ready for the fireworks that are going to happen in the Democratic Party. I'm Bryan Rudnick. I'm your host, Rally for the Republic, where Americans come to be American, where we come to take back this country, and we rally for freedom. So, what do you think? Is Joe Biden about to get the big old boot? Is Kamala going to be left in charge? Everybody's got an opinion, and you know what they say about opinions. Let's get jiggy with it. I'll be back to you in a moment.
This is a battle cry for the American way of life and a relentless pursuit of truth and justice. It comes from a voice with unmatched experience and unyielding resolve. Join us as we dissect current events and tip the scales in your favor. This is Rally for the Republic with your host, Bryan Rudnick.
Bryan Rudnick, Rally for the Republic, with quick thoughts on the week's events. So as I record today, we see that it's been a bad week for Steve Bannon when he reported to Danbury Prison. Bob Good lost the election, but he's off to a recount world. And Rudy Giuliani is no longer a member of the bar in good standing in the Empire State. And articles and opinions and talking heads are all throwing it out there that it's about to be Kamala's. Joe supposedly telling and leaking to the New York Times, or friends of his are leaking to the New York Times, that he's about to go. He's wondering. I guess they did not solidify things last weekend in Delaware. The Supreme Court's put out opinions that continue to dismantle the administrative state. AOC is threatening to impeach them. Oh, she's threatening, all right. And she's got other Democrats about to join her bandwagon, some of them taking the lead. And what are the Democrat Party officials and pundits all worried about? Well, Biden looks like he's about to lose Virginia and a whole slew of other states. And somehow they're believing the polls that say Kamala Harris, of course, she's, as you can imagine, she and the three friends that she has, because that's about all she has, are trying to lead the charge, letting America think that she can defeat Donald Trump, that they found some obscure poll that says she can trounce the Donald. This woman's an airhead. Some people call her an empty suit. I call her a woman who apparently can only get by from being on her knees, because that's what she did to get where she is today. And there is no way on God's green earth she trounces Donald Trump. Let's be clear. I gave my thoughts last week. She wasn't the one I said should be in the mix. Everybody knows Kamala Harris is about the least liked person in America. The three people who aren't her sorority sisters that might be supporting her, nobody can work for the woman. Nobody likes the woman. Nobody wants to be around the woman. If you saw her video on the BET Awards, you know she's as fake as they come. At least when Hillary put on a pantsuit and tried to pretend like she was in charge, he kind of believed her, because we all know Hillary's killed people off. Hillary's been around the world representing the country. Hillary has manipulated and maneuvered. But Kamala, she's a placeholder. She's a DEI quota. That's all she's good for. There's nothing good about her track record. She's fighting to kill babies in the womb. She spent her whole time as vice president dealing with that. And she looks like a moron. She sounds like a moron. She acts like a moron. And I told you, Republicans, don't keep pushing to replace Joe Biden. They gave us a layup. Let's take it. Now, I also want to address what's going on with Rudy Giuliani.
You are listening to Rally for the Republic with your host, Bryan Rudnick.
I think it's really important, because I like to address the judiciary and the legal system, that we recognize that the legal system in this country is corrupt. The judiciary system, we've talked about concerns with the U.S. Supreme Court, all the way down to our local courts, are a cabal. They're a cabal of attorneys that are mostly liberals. They hate people like Rudy Giuliani. Why? Because Rudy Giuliani, who once was kind of a liberal, might have been a Democrat, I believe, at one time, became a Republican, a tough law and order, crime-fighting Republican. And he became mayor of New York City. And he became America's mayor on 9/11. And we all admired Rudy Giuliani, regardless of your party affiliation. You had to admire the man and what he tried to do for New York City when he was mayor after 9/11. He was America's mayor. He acted in his capacity as an attorney to advocate for his client. Now, anybody who's been in the legal system knows that attorneys advocate strongly. The good attorneys advocate strongly for a client. They don't always take the client's position, but many of them do because their job is to advocate for it, to represent the client. And they may see the court structure differently than their client does because, after all, their client's not immersed in that world. So the average American walks into a courtroom and you show reverence and respect to a judge, and you don't realize the judge is probably the most guilty and corrupt person sitting there. But your lawyer's job is to know how to read the audience of one, that judge, and sometimes the audience of 12, a jury. But in this case, you have the state bar. The state bar is typically run by a cabal of liberal attorneys who kiss each other's ass and make each other feel good because they volunteer pro bono hours to illegal immigrants. And this is a group of people who in many states have already said illegal immigrants can be members of this privileged association, because you don't have a right to be a member of a state bar. It's a privilege. And yet in most courts in this country, you cannot practice law. You cannot call yourself an attorney. You cannot call yourself a lawyer unless you are a member of that association. Even if you went to law school, it doesn't matter. And you can't represent corporate entities. You might be able to represent yourself pro se, but you can't represent corporate entities. So lots of issues there. So you have to join an already biased and corrupt entity in order to advocate for somebody. And God forbid you advocate for a guy in the opposition party, they're going to throw you out. They're going to tar and feather you like you're a leper. Well, guess what? Rudy Giuliani might have made some mistakes with his hair color. He might have made some mistakes with some words, but I have seen lawyers in a courtroom outright lie to a judge and not get punished, sanctioned, or disbarred for it. How many lawyers in this country do you think are going in front of judges and lying? When you put a pleading together, just like we've heard Donald Trump has immunity for official acts, lawyers have immunity for official acts if they're advocating for their clients. He didn't go into the back room and tinker with ballots, so he had concerns. He had information, and he brought it forward. And, we have a judiciary to help vet that stuff. But no, he worked for the opposition party, and just like they do in banana republics, off with his head, tar and feather him, put him out to pasture like he's some leper. Forget all the good things this man has done for New York City and for America. And there's a lot of things he's done wrong, but there's also a whole lot he's done right that everybody seems to want to forget. I don't agree with everything Rudy Giuliani has done, but I will tell you, as far as I'm concerned, he is a patriot. He is a great American. He is a person who meant to do well. I think his intentions are being misunderstood by the opposition party, the people who unfortunately have control of this country, that we have to rally together to remove from power. The secret underground cabal of attorneys called your state bar. These people are only in power because their friends who they do wet lunches with got them elected, because they did favors, they referred business, not because they're good lawyers. So remember that when Rudy Giuliani's being attacked in the left-wing, supposedly mainstream media because he's been disbarred by the state of New York, remember who it is who disbarred him. He is not discredited in the eyes of Americans who understand how this works. That's just another aspect of the deep state. Rudy Giuliani advocated for his client, as every good attorney should do. So what if you don't agree with it? Because anytime anybody wants to fight me and dispute me and debate me on the 2020 election, I'm going to talk to you about my almost 30 years experience in American politics here in Palm Beach County, where I've been through a recount, where 20,000 ballots could not be found for 30 days. So if it happened in Palm Beach County, tell me how it couldn't happen anywhere else in America. Please, I dare you. The left knows that Joe Biden stole this election. The left knows that if Joe Biden didn't steal it, he just can't remember who did for him. The facts of the matter are, we have a problem in this country. Ballots and electioneering are not 100% foolproof. We see major corporations who have hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, like banks, being hacked. So you really think government's any more secure than those companies? Really, you think their servers run by low-level functionary government bureaucrats make things any more secure? It should be more secure, but you'd have to be a fool to think it couldn't happen on our watch. I'm going to talk about some other things after the break and the future of the Republican Party. Back to you in a moment.
You are listening to Rally for the Republic with your host, Bryan Rudnick.
Bryan Rudnick, Rally for the Republic. Independence Day is near. Decision day for Joe Biden is near. But I want to address some topics I brought up earlier. I started the show by mentioning Axel Foley. Remember Axel Foley? Eddie Murphy plays the actor in Beverly Hills Cop. He's back on Netflix July 3rd. Beverly Hills Cop 3, looking forward to it. Great role for him. Hopefully he doesn't play Dr. Doolittle, because that's probably what Joe Biden needs. So I'm looking forward to a little entertainment there. Don't know what other great movies are out. Always look forward to the Independence Day weekend movie selection. I read, as I was reading some of the news of the day, about letters that our founding fathers put out. And they said that Independence Day originally was supposed to be July 2nd, as some of you may be aware, and it was going to be celebrated for generations. And I truly hope all of you will celebrate and really make something of our great country's birthday. Because the American experience, the American experiment, it is something great. The show is dedicated to exposing some of the problems we have, but also lending itself to solutions. And celebrating our independence, our freedom, our individual liberty is really important. As part of what I am trying to do here as the host of Rally for the Republic, and not just to educate you, not just to give you my thoughts and insights, but I'm inviting friends, colleagues, and other influential political movers and shakers to join us. So soon you'll be hearing a great interview with John Dennis of California, who has been a great Republican activist for 15 years and has some great stories to share. And later in the week, we'll be hearing from Autry Pruitt, CEO of New Journey PAC, to discuss black voters, black outreach by Trump and Biden and what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, because you heard a lot about that in the debate last week. Black voters, black jobs, things of that nature. Autry has run New Journey PAC with Bo Snerdley, James Golden for many years, has great insights into what it takes to do voter persuasion in Black America. And next week, we'll be joined by Hercules himself, Kevin Sorbo, a great actor, great director, producer, great American, and I believe a golfing partner to President Trump. I'm going to leave you with these thoughts here as we all get ready to shoot off the fireworks, and hopefully some of you will be shooting guns like our founding fathers suggested would occur around Independence Day. I, for one, will be a part of that in a matter of mere moments with some of my friends, and later, who knows, imbibing some great Kentucky bourbon. I encourage everybody to celebrate Independence Day by enjoying some great Kentucky bourbon. Before we do all that, we need to save the Republican Party from itself. How do you do that? You're wondering. The Republican Party, like the Democrat Party, has its factions, and unlike the Democratic Party, we all love America. The Trump campaign, led by Susie Wiles, one of the smartest, most talented people in Republican politics these days, has suggested that the Republican Party platform at the upcoming convention, we're about week and a half away from the convention. The national committee gets together and they have some powwows leading up to the pomp and circumstance you might see on your television. And they put rules in effect. And every time there's a national convention, they put out a platform, the issues that are near and dear to the hearts of the Republican National Committee members that they believe espouse the beliefs of the party and its members, the voters, you and me. Suggestion from Susie Wiles and some of her team was that we pare down that platform. We don't do too many changes. We don't make a big deal about some of the issues. And of course, we've got friends on the pro-life side of the Republican Party wanting to make sure that we don't slide backwards and don't ignore the importance of protecting life. Everybody's got a constituency to answer to. Everybody's got a platform issue they want to promote, and they lobby for it. But in reality, we, the Republicans, the conservatives who want to take back this country, need to understand the number one rule in politics is winning. You've got to win in order to take control. You've got to win in order to legislate. You've got to win in order to save the country. Do not cut your nose to spite your face. Don't make guns, abortion, killing babies in the womb, funding for Ukraine, potholes in New York City, or DEI. Don't make any of these issues so big that we lose support and lose sight of the layup we still have to win back the White House and take the majority in the House and the Senate. Please do not try to start some inter-party fights, shenanigans, media attention. Don't give the left-wing media an edge to think that we're not unified in taking back the country. We don't need those games. You've got to look at the chessboard and you've got to realize that we can win this year, and that means we can't screw up. And you screw up if you start fighting over things like the party platform. The issues are simple. It's border. It's the economy. It's inflation. It's the left trying to deconstruct America. And obviously this week, it's all distracted about, is Joe capable of continuing? But that points to the whole Democrats deconstructing America. So don't get off message. Don't get distracted. Please don't start new fights. Please don't think the world is going to end if the Republican Party platform isn't perfect, isn't prioritizing saving babies' lives or Israel or Ukraine or election security or any other great important issue. We know there are many great important issues we need to tackle, but we need to win. We need to take back the country. Then when we have control, we get to worry about those issues. But let's fulfill step one and win. Please don't cut your nose to spite your face. Yes, it should be that simple. I believe it's that simple. You should believe it's that simple. Don't start turning these issues into getting independent voters to think this is all the Republican Party cares about. And now you've got somebody who believes in 5, 7, 10, 12 of the issues. They're in agreement with the GOP, but now you made them think abortion's the biggest issue. So now they don't want to be associated with pro-lifers. Don't do that to us. Don't do that. Don't be AOC. Don't be Bernie Sanders. Okay, all those issues, very important. We can make it happen. We can win. Please don't mess this up. So I want to remind some people why I started this show and what we're going to accomplish. Because here at Rally for the Republic, this is about America for the Americans. It is not a show for your leftist Antifa friends. This is not a show for people with pronouns, unless those pronouns are patriot, freedom fighter, or constitutional conservative. And this is not a show for people who do anything other than love mom and apple pie. This is a show for people who wish June Cleaver, Archie Bunker, and Al Bundy were still on TV. It's for the people who cling to their guns and religion. For the Americans who believe our founding fathers would be turning over in their graves if they saw what the left has been doing to destroy our nation, giving away our freedoms, forcing citizens to succumb to tyranny. This is for the Americans who say no more, who are going to stand up, fight back, and take the republic back. If that's you, please keep listening. Our show's going to get better and more exciting. And as I said earlier, we're going to have some great guests. So join us, Rally for the Republic. Engage with me. Feedback at rallyfortherepublic.com. That's number 4, rally4therepublic.com. Share and like us. Most importantly, stand shoulder to shoulder with us and fight to take back America. That is the only way we rally for the Republic. I'm Bryan Rudnick, and I thank you for your time. Most importantly, have an awesome Independence Day, and don't spend it like Joe Biden.
Thank you for joining us on Rally for the Republic, where we are fighting for America's future. Visit 1776coalition.com. Rally for the Republic podcast is available on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and download. Join Bryan Rudnick next time as we continue to fight for the American way of life and challenge the hypocrisy. This is Rally for the Republic.